Hey there, I'm Charlotte, the Gulf Coast Granny, and today I thought I would do a bit of a garden update. I haven't done one in a very long time, and now it's summer, and all of my spring garden has been pulled out. But I have plans for the fall, and I want to show you what they are. So we pulled all the tomatoes out of this bed. This was green beans. I didn't get very many this year. I don't know why. They didn't produce as well as I thought they would. Back there I have peppers in that bed. These cucumbers still need to come out. They're not producing anymore. But I do have some eggplants in this bed. There's 3 of them. One there, and another one here that actually has a pretty good sized eggplant on it. I grew tomatoes in that bed, and they all just quit producing and started looking diseased and dead, so I pulled those out too. Even my zinnias are fried. Y'all, it has been so hot here for the past week. A week ago, they did not look like this. And I've been out here watering them every single day. But it's time to pull these out too. And maybe plant another round in about a month or so that I'll have pretty flowers by fall. And here's the kiddie pool that has chives back there. And some weeds in the middle. And then this one zinnia plant that seems to be thriving. I'm not sure why. If you'll notice, we took the reed fencing down. We had some reed fencing there to kind of block out the neighbors, but they put up a privacy fence. And they also cut down an enormous tree that was right about here, and it hung all the way over their house. It was a huge oak tree. And now that they've done that, all of this land from that shed to where I'm standing here gets beautiful morning sun. So the plan is to use all of this property and build some more raised beds and grow more food. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to organize it yet, but this side of the garden seems to be growing better than the other side of the garden. I'll show you. This raised 100-gallon bed has a sunflower. Couple of them. Let's see, here's one here. It also has, there's another one, but I have my Tabasco peppers in here. There's 1, 2, 3 bushes. Well, on this side I planted butternut squash, and this poor little vine here is having a hard time, but look at that. It's staying alive just long enough to get that thing right. This one did not get pollinated, so it's just stayed a baby, and I think it's just dead. But look at this vine. This one is good and green, and it's given me this one, and look, it's even brown on the stem, and it might be time to pull it. I've got to investigate that. Here's another one. Now this is just a small version, and that stem is brown as well, along with some leaves. But then these are my cantaloupes. This is only one cantaloupe vine, but I've got 3 cantaloupes growing on that vine. Of course, this one's closer to done than that one, or that one. But they're still growing, and they're doing well. Before it got so hot, this bed was green and beautiful. But I want you to look over here on just 12 feet away. There's my roses. They're even crispy. This was a whole bed of butternut squash too. And these poor vines just never grew. They're only about 2 feet long, if that. And they just never grew, so they're not getting the light that they need or the nutrients. Well, I fertilized it the same as I did the other bed, so I'm going to assume that my nutrients are good. Weeds are growing in there. Sunflowers are growing. But those poor little vines just needed more sun. And I still have my arch nemesis there, that big oak tree branch. See how there's the top of that oak tree. The top of it was blown out during Katrina. So there's just that piece right there. But one branch survived, and it has gone all the way over my chicken coop. And that branch needs to be cut out so that I can get better sun. Now, there are trees behind it over there. But if I could get that out, I could probably get another hour to an hour and a half of sun in this yard. Right now, that's just not going to happen. So I have to work with what I've got. And working with what I've got means going that way. And the funny thing about it is, that is the north end of my yard. But it gets more sun than the southern end of my yard, which is here. You saw the eggplants over there in that bed by the cucumbers. And they're producing. They're not producing a lot right now because of the heat. But they've been producing. And they will again come fall. They're actually pretty tall as well. But this one here that I planted at the same time as the others is just now starting to give me flowers. Now, I have all ideas that by fall this will be a producing eggplant, but I'm not sure. Even the sunflowers that I planted, look how spindly they are. Now, I did plant a few carrots, kind of like test carrots, over here, and they are growing, but they're growing very, very slowly. These are either Kuroda or Kubota carrots. I forget the name of them. And of course, I've got to weed. I mean, look at the weeds. They've just taken over this bed. These are my cherry tomatoes. This bush is doing pretty good, but this one is starting to get a little yellow. I probably need to give it some fish fertilizer and try to keep it alive through this heat. And if it can survive come fall, when the weather cools off a bit, it will start producing again. If I can just keep them alive during the summer. Another thing I wanted to point out is my water lily. Now, I fertilized this about 3 months ago when it started warming up. And it's got lots and lots of leaves, but it's never once bloomed. And I have all ideas that it's because there's not enough sun here. My house shades this pond until about noon every day. So I'm going to move the pond over by that oak tree over there. So it'll get plenty of sun, and hopefully it will produce a flower sometime before it freezes. I don't know if y'all remember or not. I'll try to find the video where I got this as a little tiny root that my girlfriend sent me from Florida. But this thing is at least 3.5 feet tall now. Maybe, shoot, that tall one there's as tall as I am. But the bulk of it's about 3 feet tall. Isn't it beautiful, y'all? I just love that. I had to come inside because the neighbors were making so much noise, and it was really getting hard to video with them hollering at each other. They're doing some kind of work in the yard, and I just thought I'd come inside to get more peace and quiet. But anyhow, the plan for the garden is looking really good, and I'm really happy with the decisions that we've made as far as expanding it. There won't be a lot of updating in the garden for the next couple of months. I won't start planting any fall crops until about mid-August. I am going to plant some Christmas lima beans probably tomorrow. I don't want okra this year. We're not able to plant enough to get any good out of it. And I'm not a huge fan of okra anyway. And with times as hard as they are right now, I'm not going to take up any valuable space in my garden with plants that I don't eat. Now, I love to watch okra grow. It's a beautiful plant. But my garden needs to be functional now and not just pretty. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish. I want to thank everybody for spending some time with me today and watching my video. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again real soon, all right?